Greetings, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. The title of my speech today is The Struggle Against Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. The participation of men in the fight against gender-based violence and femicide is often minimal and non-existent. The world over, GBVF is a lived reality for many women and children. A friend of mine, while making a presentation on toxic masculinity, asked a very pertinent question. A question that I find very relevant to many of my countrymen today in South Africa. He asked, "Is this the kind of country that we wish to one day see our daughters grow in?" The reason why this question is such of a pertinent nature is because it forces men to engage with the lived realities of many women. It also confronts male privilege and actively works to encourage men to creating safer spaces, not only for women, but for queer personalities and children. Unless we achieve this, we will continue to see the brutality that is of GBVF and its assault on women in South Africa. The toxicity of masculinity and patriarchal norms and standards are fundamental inhibitors to human development in many of our communities. Therefore, the role of men in the fight against gender-based violence is no longer a mere academic question, but a key component in the deconstruction of our toxic social order. Often men demonstrate a sense of ignorance or attitude with comments such as, "This doesn't affect me, therefore it's none of my business," or "This is a woman's issue, not mine." Often men participate as mere bystanders and fellow tweeters. But when it comes to calling out those around them who are perpetrating such behavior against women, there is then all of a sudden a supposed neutrality or ignorance. This supposed neutrality and silence when it comes to GBVF is itself a form of unconscious support for the war on women's bodies. Silence is, in this case, contempt and not avoidance or ignorance. There is no middle ground. And it is about time we start demanding of men to being active and take up their role. GBVF in South Africa is a culture. And like any culture, it has a long history of development, with men being perpetrators and women's bodies being their crime scene. Such a culture must find its end. And men have an opportunity today to help turn the tide and thus bringing newer cultures and safer spaces. It must become our daily project. It starts with the social education of the young boy and the re-education of the 40-year-old. It starts when one man decides to stand up and say enough is enough in solidarity with thousands of women's cries. The journey to a GBVF-free society is a long and worrisome journey. It is difficult, but it is never insurmountable. The true sense of meaning of freedom is such that when freedom is denied to a woman, it is denied to society at large. With that, I thank you.